Hello everyone, and welcome to another Fast Tracks webinar. This is a event that we host every week at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on Friday mornings, and you can sign up for those by going to our website, goftx.com, go to Lifeline, jump to support options. You can see our webinars here. You can also do it by going directly to goftx.com/webinars. And from here, you can view any of our webinars that we've done in the past. You can see upcoming webinars that we're going to be covering for topics, and then you can also subscribe to notifications here. Most of our webinars on here are available for you to download, so you could review them later, and of course, you can watch them live. Today, we're going to be covering the import utility in Cloud POS. So, to start with, this is the control center. So if you use the Cloud POS, or if you are going to be using our upcoming product, which is e-commerce, this is the interface that you will be using. All right, so in order to get to the import utility, you're going to go to point of sale, other, import utility. Okay, so we have a few different import utilities available. We can do imports for your departments, your vendors, your stores, your items or products. If you use our internal gift card system and you want to import cards from your previous system, you can do that with the gift card one. We've got product pricing, you do orders, vendor part, and vendor part cost. There's also a comma delimited version of the import as well as a pipe delimited, and we'll go over some of those in a few minutes. So to start off with, the most common import that we see that people need to do is going to be the new item import. And the Cloud POS makes it super easy to get this done. So all you do is you choose the product that you want, or the type of import that you want. And to get the information that you need and put it in the correct order, just click download sample CSV. That will bring up a CSV file that you can then click on, and then it gives you this information. And all you have to do is follow this guide, putting in your information like that. And then once you're done, you save it as a CSV file, and then you just run the import. So for this example, let's say that I'm going to import in UPC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it's going to be Rihanna's test item. And the description is going to be Rihanna's candy bar. I want it in department GM. And in this instance, so with the on-premise version of the software, the department, you would actually use the department number, but in the cloud part, you do the department name. So to keep in mind that when you're doing this, you have to use a department that already exists. Otherwise, you have to add that department in before you do your import. So you would need to make sure that that department is available. And you can look at your departments by going to maintenance, departments. So these are the departments that I have available. Let's just say I'm going to put it in snacks. And then my category is going to be, let's say I want it to be under the snacks category. And then the subcategory, I want it to be candy. And then the next category can be the manufacturer. So we'll just say I'm the manufacturer. Then you also would put the manufacturer in right here. And then I want the item to be active, which is 1 is yes, 0 is no. And then what I would do is I would get rid of these example forms because I'm not going to import those items. And then I would save this. So we're going to save it. Let's see, new item. And then I'm just going to say today's date. close my sheet. And we're going to come back over here. So now I need to import the file that I just made. So we're going to choose File. And then we're going to click Run Import. And that's it. So now we can come in and look at the item that I just added in. And there it is. Put it in the correct department. It's got the UPC number. Now you would notice in the file that the new item import does not include cost and price because that is a separate import. So the next most common import that we do is pricing imports. So with a pricing import, you actually have two different options. You can either choose to import that now, or you can import it with the queue, and the queue is basically how you would schedule pricing. So let's say, for example, that you got an import list or you got a pricing list from your vendor, and you know that starting on July 1st, you're going to need to update all the pricing on, let's say, your Marlboro cigarettes, and they need to increase by 20 cents. You could go ahead and import this pricing list in by going through these steps that I've already gone through with you. And instead of doing the import now, you would do import via queue, and then you would schedule the changes to happen on, July 1st at 5 a.m., for example. And then you would, once you get through importing in the file, or you would run the file like you normally would, and then you click Run Import, and it wouldn't actually take those changes until July 1st at 5:07 a.m. because that's the timestamp that I picked. So let's do a import now for the pricing for this item. So I'm going to download my sample CSV because I don't know what order I need everything in. And with this one, like I said before, with the on-premise version of the software, you would need to be using department numbers. You would also be using price book zone numbers. With the cloud version, you use the name of the zone. So I need to add in the one that I had. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12. And my zone, I can find out by going to maintenance, locations, price book zones. So I've got price book zone number 0 and price book zone number 1. And you can import your pricing for all zones on the same import. So I'm going to do that here. We're going to do price book zone number 0 and price book zone number 1. And I'm going to, let me delete that line because I won't need this one anymore. And let's say that my price on price book zone number 0 is going to be $4.99. And my cost, let's just say it's $3.25. And then price book zone number 1, we'll say it's going to be $4.49. Whoops. And then we'll say it's $3.19. Okay. So we're going to save this. Okay. Close that and go back to the import utility. We're going to choose our file that we just made. And like I said, I'm going to run this now instead of doing the schedule. Okay, so let's go back and look at our item. Now you can see it's $4.99 and my cost was $3.25. I can come in here and look at what my other price book zone shows, which should be $4.49. Yep, there it is. So it makes it a lot easier to do the imports if you do if and then like I said, you can do the schedule as well. There are several other imports that I'm going to just briefly go over. I won't do the example import for you because the actual process of choosing the file and running the import is all going to be the same. But so let's say, for example, you are wanting to do your vendors. So all of these are available in either a pipe delimited file or a comma delimited file. When the time that you would want to use a pipe delimited file is whenever you would have items or departments or vendors that have a comma in the description. So that would be like if your item maybe has like a list in it. So um, snacks, comma, uh, pretzels, comma, M&Ms, or, something like that. Because if you do a comma delimited file, the comma delimited will make all of those commas that are in the description read as an extra column in the file. So the file import would not work correctly. So like I said, if you're going to have commas in any of your information, you need to make sure you're choosing a pipe delimited file instead. So just to show you what the pipe delimited file looks like, so in Excel, it looks the same, but if you look at it in like Notepad, for example, let's go back to, let's open with Notepad. So as you can see, instead of having commas, it has these pipes instead, but it reads the same. All right. So we've got the vendor part or the vendor import, which is getting your actual vendors into the system. So that would include contact information, and then as well as just like the vendor ID and things like that. The store import makes it so that you can import all of your locations all at once rather than entering them in manually. This especially helps if you have a lot of stores. This would include the store name, their phone number, their street address, and then uh, I think it also includes the price book zone. Let me just make sure we can just show you here. Yes, it does include the price book zone. And then it also can include the account information for like GL exports. And then these two are extra columns that are for other reports. So emit from offline report and hide from customer. This would be for like the Loyal and Save program if you want to hide this location from customers on the Loyal and Save app. And it would also hide it from customers should you choose to do the e-commerce section that's coming up soon. Okay, so then we also have the gift card import, which this import is very simple. It's just the number of the card and then the balance. So that you can import that in from, like, let's say that you are coming from App Card or another external gift card system, you could import them in here. Vendor part is another big one that we see. This one again goes by, this one is you do one import per price book zone. And the import is going to be the same as what you would do for the others. It's just the vendor part import will include the UPC number that the item is tied to, which means that that UPC number already has to exist in the system. So make sure that when you're doing your vendor part imports that you do have all of the UPCs added in first, because if you don't do that, it'll run through the import and then give a failure, but it will give you a list of things that are wrong within the import file so you can go back and touch those lines directly. And then vendor part cost is just like the pricing import. You have the option to um, do it now or do it in the future. And then these you can actually apply these cost changes to the actual UPC number. You can trickle the cost to, child units if it's, let's say, a carton and a pack. Um, so, and then we also have another option to do for the margins. But that's how you do imports in the cloud. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our support staff. Our phone number is 256-319-3470, option 1. You can also send an email to websupport@fasttrackspos.com, as well as you can get on our website and send in a ticket there as well. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for joining us. Goodbye.